We're gonna be talking about the new Rayhaan Pacific Aloha and how it compares to Ana Abiyedh Coral from Latafa. We're also gonna be talking very briefly about the new Pacific Azul fragrance, which is definitely geared more towards the men folk. So let's get right into it. I have some thoughts. So I gotta be honest and say that when I first heard that they were going to be coming out with a new dupe of Room 1015's Wave Child, I was not impressed because we already have Latafa's Ana Abiyedh Coral. But I gotta say, Aloha does smell very nice. It is a juicy, fresh, a little bit aquatic, coconutty, watermelon focused fragrance that just smells like summertime. It actually smells like the Maldives, like how they've flown out all of their creators to the Maldives. It smells like that. It smells like a water, tropical, maybe not so much tropical, yeah, a water destination type of vacation that is fresh and juicy and sweet. I think this is a fragrance that to me is hard to dislike. However, this fragrance, like the original fragrance that it's inspired by, Wave Child, may not be everyone's cup of tea because it is a very sweet, almost like Jolly Rancher type of perfume. And not everyone is into like just a very sweet candy almost smelling type of scent, because I could understand how to some people that DNA could come off as juvenile or, childlike, and maybe not the upscale, expensive, elevated type of scent that they may be looking for. I would say I lean closer to that demographic. It's not a bad scent. Anna Abiyedh Coral, the Aloha fragrance, or the original Wave Child. But that DNA to me does feel very playful. It's nice, but it's not anything that I've ever, been head over and heels in love with. So those are really the only individuals that I think might not like this because of that aspect of it. But if you're looking for what I would consider to be, for most people, probably a safe blind buy, juicy, sweet, slightly tropical, aquatic watermelon fragrance, I really think it's going to be mass appealing to most individuals. Now, how does it actually compare to Ana Abiyedh Coral? This is a very important comparison to me because I think that Rayhaan took a risky move to create this fragrance at this particular time. Why? Because while the original fragrance from Room 1015 is, of course, expensive, I think it's a few $100s, I don't remember the exact price point, the Ana Abiyedh Coral fragrance from Latafa, because it's been out for a while, you can get it for $20 on Amazon or TikTok. And this new fragrance, Aloha, is coming in at, I believe, about $44.50. I mean, I don't think that $44 is a horrible price for a brand new release, but when you have another perfume that is already on the market from a very big Arabic brand that everyone is going to know about, I think that's a risky move. How do they actually compare to one another? I think that Ana Abiyedh Coral is sweeter and leans more into the watermelon aspect and less onto the coconut and less onto the aquatic feel. Whereas Rayhaan focuses more on the fresh marine aquatic feel, and I think more on the coconut with still the juicy watermelon thrown in. Which one do I like more? If we're just talking about scent subjectively, I think I do like the Rayhaan one more because I like the extra freshness feel to the overall scent profile. It makes it feel like it's not as linear as I think the original Ana Abiyedh Coral can be. It's still pretty linear, but both of them. But I think the extra freshness, aquaticness just makes the scent a bit more interesting to me and more my personal taste. But if you already have Ana Abiyedh Coral at home, I do not think that you need to go out and buy this. I do not think that you are missing out on anything. Don't have any feelings of FOMO about this because they are still incredibly similar. Like, especially as they both start to progress, I feel like they get almost more and more similar. I think that this is a situation where if you want to get another bottle of your Ana Abiyedh Coral and you like the idea of a fresher take on that same DNA, then when it's finished, which hopefully will be in a few months once the price has gone down on the Pacific Aloha, I think that would be a good time to try it. But I think that it's unnecessary for anyone who owns Coral to get this one as well. Unless you're just like, no, F that. I want the more aquatic version now. I don't care about the $44 price tag. Then by all means, my friend, have at it. But overall, I do think that it is a nice perfume. It's just maybe a little bit redundant, again, if you already have Coral from Latafa. In terms of projection longevity, I think it's moderate. I would call it light to moderate. I got about 6 hours or so with it, which I think is kind of on brand with what I would expect with this style of DNA. And it didn't perform very differently from Ana Abiyedh Coral to me. At times, I felt like Ana Abiyedh Coral was stronger in the opening, but then as the scents progressed, I thought that the Aloha fragrance was a bit stronger. But in terms of longevity on skin, they were both like right neck and neck. So I don't think that you're going to be getting, again, a drastically different experience in terms of performance from either of them as well. Now, in terms of Azul, I don't have too much to say about this. This is a fragrance that I really feel is more so geared towards men. It's inspired by a Dior fragrance. I forget the exact name, but I'll make sure to put it on screen. And I think it's a nice, very citrusy, lemony scent that to me comes off fairly linear. When I first sprayed it, I was like entranced. I thought that, oh wow, this is very interesting. It almost came off like a spicy lemon, but then it just kind of stayed and settled into this like lemon citrus scent that is masculine leaning. I thought that it could be a bit unisex. My husband said no, he thought it could be that it would smell masculine on a woman. It's okay. It's not a scent that I think I personally, would go goo goo gaga over, either wearing it on myself or smelling it on a man. But it does smell nice, but I just don't think it's anything remarkable. I definitely think that Aloha is more interesting out of the two of them, but I'm obviously biased because I review and talk more about female perfumes. I don't really, dive too deep into male perfumes unless they're unisex or there's something really interesting about it. I don't think that this really fits that category of something very interesting about it, to be honest with you. So let me know if you are thinking about getting Aloha, or if you already have Ana Abiyedh Coral and are waiting, or if you're gonna get both, or if you're not interested in the DNA at all. Very curious to hear your guys' thoughts, and I will see you guys back tomorrow for our next episode.